On this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, you got your boy. You know what it is. I forgot the microphone was right here. But yeah, we gonna be talking about some sports and pop culture stuff from the last 2 weeks. You already know how we get down. Plenty to talk about. In a short amount of time, I won't hold you guys too long on this beautiful weekend. It's a beautiful day outside. It's been raining all week. So let's get everybody outside and moving. But I will give y'all something to listen to before y'all get to doing that. It's the Best of Bias podcast. No long talking. Let's get right into it. Where that theme song is. Where is it at? Let's get right to it. Yeah. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah. It's the best of bias. What's up, everybody? What's up? Let me get myself right real quick. It's your boy Lydell Dinero coming at you live from the Ponderosa, from the stew. What's good? Happy day, whatever day listen to this, man. Hey. We made it. We made it to the weekend. We made it to where we needed to be. We made it to the point of relaxation. And you click the right podcast to do that relaxing, man. It's the Best of Bias podcast, where we bring you sports and pop culture. Well, you heard it in the opening. You know what's good. If you're an all-time, long-time listener, you already know what we come to do here. If you're new, you just click play today. First of all, let me say thank you for joining the family. Even if you just clicked and only listening for one day, you temporarily part of the family and come back anytime. But anyways, you know what we do here? We talk sports, we talk pop culture, we talk pretty much everything. We bring it to the table. If it's your bias, it's probably going to be at the table and we probably going to talk about it. So it's the best of bias, and that's what we do here. We don't just put ourselves in one category, not one niche category to satisfy one base. We all encompass, and we want everybody to come in and feel like they're welcome, because they are. Everybody can join the family by simply pressing play. And it's just giving their bias, be really interactive, let us know what you want to hear. Let us know if you want to be on the show. It's a show for the people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get out there for everybody. Get past the shyness. Damn, these colors is kind of crazy right now. These water colors, I need to fix that. Sorry about the noise. But yeah, man, I want to get more interactive. I want to open the space. I know the space is kind of saturated as far as podcasts go, but I'm talking about guests, man. I have a lot of people that want to be on the pod, but when it's time to be on the pod, they don't give me the nod. You feel me? Like, I need y'all to be really vocal about it, because, I'm here every week just chopping it up with myself for y'all. But I really like to bounce ideas and talk to people. Again, I'm complaining like I never have guests. I do have guests quite often. AKA is on when he can. Demo, Johnny Mac 650 is on here often. V-Rons, Chelsea. I got a bunch of people, but they busy right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's my fault for not reaching out, but that's podcast talk. That's not what y'all want to hear. But basically, more shit coming. I say this all the time. The elevation is, if you've been here since day one, you know about all the elevation. And you know the steps that we've taken to make it a better pod for the people. So there's more to come, man. 2024 is the year elevation. It's my year 33, that Larry Bird year. And you know what I'm saying? I'm taking my shot. And so let's get it. So this week on the docket, we're kind of in a lull in sports right now, waiting for baseball to start back up. Basketball's in the second half, kind of making its push towards the playoffs. So the games are kind of exciting, but it's not like it was in October and earlier parts of the year when they had all the sports going on at the same time. There's still hockey, there's golf, MMA, and all that stuff going on, but it's not that like weekly slew of games that we can talk about. There's fantasy, there's football, there's basketball, there's baseball, all that shit to talk about at the same time. Right now, we just kind of in the, football's over, Super Bowl's passed. We're doing combine stuff, preparing for the draft. And again, it's like MVP time, like people making their last pushes for MVP, making their last pushes for the playoffs, solidifying their positioning for the playoffs in NBA. So there's not hella to talk about in sports, but I'm gonna get right to it anyway. We talk about the NBA, boy. Let me just talk about what I'm seeing right now. After the All-Star break, it's been about 5-6 games now, and the teams are performing. Teams that are in the bottom, like the Lakers and the Warriors of the Western Conference, are making that push. Again, I am pretty much biased to the Western Conference, because you know what I rap, Denver Nuggets all day, and I don't really pay much attention to the East. I just think about the East as far as who we gonna play in the championship. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't really seeing them over there when it comes to going through the playoffs. So I don't really care about those guys unless they seeing us in the championship. And we'll see what they do on the Eastern. So excuse me if I'm a little West Side biased right now. But yeah, anyways, Lakers and the Warriors making good pushes like I said they would, man. I thought they were just playing coy, playing the bottom until it's time to make that push. I don't think they really care about the play-in because I feel like they can turn it on at any moment and play with anybody in the play-in. And then if they get to an 8 or 7 seed, they're going to be playing these young teams that really haven't been up there in OKC and Minnesota. So I think it's just their perfect positioning for them, man. It's just kind of wild to see because I feel like if the Nuggets were that bad, we wouldn't even be looked at as a playoff team, you know what I mean, or looked at as a contender. But the Lakers and the Warriors, since they have the players they have, and the old what's the word? I don't want to say old players, but the old whatever group I want to say of players that are still there from championship teams, Lakers and the Warriors 4 times. So you know, it's a lot to be kind of garnered still, and people still believe that they can make that push in the playoffs. And again, you're playing young and unexperienced teams in the play-in and the playoffs first round, so it's still kind of lining up for them if they can get their stuff together and actually still have to make the play-in and stay healthy. The key is kind of staying healthy to make the play-in and in the play-in, because the play-in is not even really the playoffs. I mean, it technically is because you're trying to make the playoffs, but even after the play-in, you still got to play a first round of the playoffs. So trying to stay healthy and just maintaining throughout that whole process. And, it's a long season. The in-season tournament stuff has made it even longer and more, not really longer, but like a little bit more taxing as far as travel and the games you have to play. The having to play 65 games to be up for awards and all pros and MVPs and stuff like that, it's kind of showing it's getting kind of taxing on players' bodies. Some players, maybe they were kind of resting for a reason, but other teams, it's like, fuck, okay, now they're forcing people to play. And that's why you see the race in the West so tight and every team's so good, because everybody's not resting and kind of giving up games just for nothing. They have to play. And that's making it a lot more competitive in the West. In the East, I could talk a little bit about that. It's just been kind of like the Celtics the whole way. I think they're like 7 games ahead of the next team, the number 2 seed in the East, and I don't think that's the Cavaliers anymore. The Cavaliers have gone on a little losing streak. The Knicks have gone on a little losing streak as well. I know they lost to the Warriors the other day. They only have really Jalen Brunson with Randall and OG Anunoby out. But me personally in the East, there's not really anything to really look at, man. It's just like the Bucks and the Celtics are going to be fighting it out to see who's going to win the East. And then when it comes to the West, it's kind of a toss-up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm going to stand on business with Denver. After All-Star break, we've been showing we're on a 5-game winning streak now, playing the Lakers tonight. I'm recording this on a Saturday. So we're going to see what happens, man. We're only 1 game out of first place now after Minnesota losing last night to the Kings and OKC losing to San Antonio the night before. That's what I'm saying. Those young teams up top are just kind of like, they may be making a push for the first and second seed right now, but ultimately the young unexperiencedness of the season, last year, Denver experienced that as well. Push to be the number 1 seed and kind of fell off and kind of coasted towards the end of the season. And everyone was like, are they really a number 1 seed? No, they just realized that after they got their positioning and got home court, it's time to put it in gear. Though they lost some games they shouldn't have lost, and it was almost a mistake, and the Kings almost caught them. It's just like, okay, now we have to kind of throttle down and know it's time to get into playoff mode and just shorten rotations, make sure everybody's healthy, and not really just try to push for the first seed, which can result in some injuries and some exhaustion and some shit you don't want. You know what I mean? And that's what's looking like it happens to OKC and Minnesota, even though they haven't really been over 3 games ahead of us or the 4 seed for, any parts of the season. It's just, they have a hard schedule, a lot of back-to-backs towards the end. Now you're going to wish you had that energy to kind of close it out and actually solidify that number 1 seed rather than be number 1 all season and then lose down the stretch due to exhaustion, your legs wearing out, getting bored of being the number 1 seed and trying to just get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's shit that you have to experience. And I feel like Minnesota and OKC don't have that yet. So watch out, man. That Warriors, OKC, that Lakers, Minnesota, those matchups probably going to happen. And the play-in right now, I think it's the Kings, Dallas, Lakers, and Warriors. Just imagine that play-in. And then after that, the playoffs, they'll probably have it'll be Warriors, If they make the 7th seed, it'll be Warriors versus OKC, and then Lakers at the 8th seed versus number 1 seed Minnesota. It's just gonna be crazy, but I hope everything kind of like plays into Denver's favor. Hopefully that experience shows. I was at the game when they played the Warriors. I wasn't really confident we were going to win that game in Chase Center. I didn't know what team was going to show up. We had just played the Blazers in Washington and beat them by like over 15 points each. So I felt like, man, those were good warm-up games. But if we lose to the Warriors, I would not be, I wouldn't not understand it, if that makes sense. I don't know what word I was looking for, but we came out focused, man. The Warriors are streaking there, like 17-3 on the road in the last 20 games or some crazy shit like that. So, but they're at home anyways. But they're even better at home. So I didn't really expect them, and they're fighting for that 9th seed. The Lakers and the Warriors are going back and forth for 9 and 10. Of course, they're trying to make the 8, 7 seed, 6 seed, if anything, not to have to be in the play-in tournament. So they're surging. So I didn't really expect the Nuggets to go in there and do what they did. Jokic with the 32-point triple-double, 32, like 15 and 16 or some shit like that. His 3rd triple-double in a row. That's when that game was, kind of a couple of games ago, because I think last game we played the Kings. And yeah, we actually beat them too, so I was happy about that. Jamal Murray twisted his ankle, though. I'm not really happy about that. That boy needs to get healthy for the playoffs, but I'm still confident. Wembanyama going stupid. He's had like one, like 5-stat 5+, like a 5x5, they call it. This last game, he just had 28 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 blocks, 5 of 7 from 3 on 9 field goals made. Like, shit's crazy. Wemby's getting better and better. 19, 20 years old now, and doing this shit as a rookie. Him blocking shots is insane. He doesn't even have to jump. He just lifts his arm and puts his arm around the whole ball and your arm at the same time and just grabs that shit. Like, he can dribble up the court, and he's shooting from logo threes. Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm kind of scared about that. I don't know what the San Antonio Spurs are doing. Free agency, I would want to play Wemby if I was anybody. Any stars. San Antonio's not a bad city to play. Popovich is not a bad coach to play for. And you have something like Wemby, if you're an assist man, if you're a shooter, if you're like just man, why wouldn't you want to play with him? I feel like he passes the ball. He's unstoppable. Has to be unstoppable within 10 feet. He can shoot a mid-range jumper, of course. He's shooting 30-footers, 35-footers from 3. It's gonna get kind of crazy. Just imagine when he's 24, bro. You see what Luka's doing. He came in the league really young, and by the time he's only 25 now, you see what he's doing. He has a lot of ways to go. Wemby is 20 years old, doing shit almost just as crazy his rookie year. Well, Luka played in Spain, so I can't say Luka came in as a rookie, not experienced. But Wemby is coming from that Paris league too, so I can't say he's not 100% experienced. But it's not the NBA, and for him to go out there and be doing this to NBA players and do that to OKC at that is nuts. It's really crazy, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. He's clearly going to win with Rookie of the Year. MVP of the league is a little more undecided. Me personally, I'm going with Jokic, and Jokic is the easy pick for everything that he's doing. He has crazy stats. Should be 4 years in a row. Embiid cried for the MVP last year, and they gave it to him. But this year, it should be Jokic. The shit that he's doing is nuts. It's just unheard of. I think there's a little bit of fatigue with giving Jokic the MVP every year, and for the fact that he may go back to back and win Finals MVP again. If he does that, bro, I think it might be over. He might just need to retire. Three MVPs, 2 Finals MVPs, and 2 back to back. Like, what else can he achieve? 3-peat? I mean, I feel it, but man, I don't really ever talk about that kind of stuff with Jokic, man. I just kind of be like the wait and see kind of shit. I'm not too braggadocious about my team like that. Like, we're going to walk through everybody and just win hella championships, but I wouldn't mind it. I can see it happening, but I ain't going to just be like, oh, stand under like that, because we know factors that come in, referees, you know what I'm saying? You have superstar players, super teams that are put together. Me personally, I think Jamal Murray is an all-star, one of the best guards in the NBA, but there's so many good guards in the NBA. He's never gotten those honors, and his injuries the past 2 years has stopped him also for getting those honors. But Jokic has played all these years without an all-star teammate, and we won a championship last year, and he's won 2 MVPs, excuse me, back to back since. So it's like, come on now. This man, if he does anything close, if he makes the NBA finals, if he makes the conference finals, I think that's, I'm not going to say a success, because I feel like we should make the conference finals at least. But I want to see the Celtics or the Bucks in the finals and just see what we can do as a dynasty. Hopefully, we can do a dynasty, do our best Patrick Mahomes impression. But let me move past NBA. Let's talk a little bit about these report cards that these NFL teams got from the NFLPA, man. Wild, wild, wild. First of all, I didn't even know they do this shit. I don't know why they would do this shit or when they started doing it. Asking the players about facilities and I mean, I would think it has to be ex-players because if these report cards came out, first of all, let me just finish explaining. So I guess the NFLPA just kind of surveyed a bunch of NFL players. Again, I don't know if it's ex-players or current players. I'm assuming it has to be current players, but um asking them about various parts of the organizations, like conditioning conditioning coaches, facilities, like how they treat the families, and shit like that, various topics, and they gave it letter grades A through F. And it was kind of surprising to see which teams got good grades and what teams got bad grades in certain areas. Some teams you're like, okay, of course they have A everything. But it's surprising to see the teams that had like Fs and F minuses and shit like that. So of course, towards the top, you got the Cowboys. Miami seems like has everything really, really good for their players. It's kind of like, well, of course, the destination teams, LA, Raiders, Miami, Dallas Cowboys, all these teams are rated towards the top, like facilities, owners, treatment of the families, travel, all that stuff was pretty high for those teams, as expected. You know what I'm saying? But the teams that were towards the bottom, some were very unexpected. First of all, the Fs. Let me talk about the Bucks first because I'm a Bucks fan wholeheartedly, and that's all I really care about, honestly. But travel, they say they charge the players another $1,500 if they want to have a single room without a roommate in a hotel room. 1,500 extra dollars. That's nuts. These big ass dudes should not have to have roommates in these hotels. They should be paid for already, firstly. And they should have enough room spaciously. I know there's a lot of players on the team, but goddamn, they should have team assigned hotels or something. I know you don't want to have that to have them as targets for people to know where they are, but shit, bro, that's crazy. I know the Cowboys ain't doing that. I know the Dolphins ain't doing that. I know 1,500 treatment of the families for the Kansas City Chiefs back-to-back championships to get an F in treatment of the families is nuts. Facilities to have like D's. It's crazy. That's mostly what I was surprised about to see Kansas City, a place where fans and everybody loved the organization so much, to see that the players were voting the treatment of the families and the owners so bad. It's crazy. I know in the scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But I guess it is like publicity. I mean, this could be a tactic for the NFLPA to try to get these things out there just to have the fan base complain and kind of have the owners kind of shift things and make shit jump because I mean, personally. I think it's a genius tactic from the NFLPA to get the owners to do something, but it's crazy. Hopefully, none of these owners just look at the players and kind of affect them negatively for stepping up and trying to put their business out on Front Street and letting everybody know that they have bad facilities or have bad owners, or they think that some of the shit that they're doing is bad, But hopefully, me personally, the Glazers, hopefully they do right by the Buccaneers by firstly signing Mike Evans back before they sign any fucking body. If you guys don't sign Mike Evans, I don't know, man. I'm not threatening nobody. I'm not gonna make it sound like that. But bro, I'm gonna write a letter. I'm gonna get my boy Paul to help me form this perfectly worded letter to this Buccaneers organization and let them know you better not let this man. You let Gerald McCoy walk out the door. Though he wasn't as successful, as Mike Evans, he was one of the greats for us. He put on for the city, and he was a great teammate. So to let him walk out the door and go to Dallas I think he played for fucking the Panthers or some crazy shit like that. To see him do that was already kind of disgraceful in my eyes, being a longtime Buccaneers fan. If you kept Rondé, and I love that. We had Rondé forever. I understand that. You let John Lynch go to the Broncos. Warren Sapp went to the Raiders. Like, no, Mike Evans is a lifer. You should not let him touch another team. All the shit that he's done for this organization, 1,000 yards every year he's been in the league, about 11 years now. Everything he's been through, 5 different quarterbacks, still putting up yards, still producing, sticking around, never asking out, taking restructures in his contract to keep players. The whole Tom Brady situation. I mean, he brought a ring, and that's 100% worth it. And he probably loves Tom for doing that. It's just that he's always been a team first guy, and for the Glazers not to do right by him and give him whatever he wants is nuts. I think he's just testing the market right now. I think he will be back, but for the chance that we haven't, for the reason for the fact, excuse me, I can't even speak right now because it's making me so mad for the thought of him even being in another jersey. They talk about Chiefs, talk about all this other bullshit. But if I ever see that shit, man, Glazers, Tampa Bay, please do not do this. Please do not do this. Let Levante David sign him back too, have him be a lifer and a Hall of Famer. Then you have Mike Evans. Please do not lose these guys. Antoine Winfield, we know we're going to sign him back. And Baker, man. Baker, I want him back. I'm not going to lie. But Mike Evans over Baker all day. You already know how I rock. Let's go, Mike. Sign Mike back or else, man. You know how the fans feel. Stop fucking with us like that. Excuse me, YouTube. I don't mean to be cussing like this, but I'm very passionate about my Bucks. I don't want to get emotional on this bitch. Sign this boy back. But yeah, NFL Combine's going right now. I think 10 o'clock today is when the receivers, quarterbacks, and the wide receivers go out to perform. I don't know, man. This year's Combine is blah to me. Though every year the Combine is always blah. They call it the Underwear Olympics. Guys go out here and just run fast, jump high, blah, 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 blah. I think it should be all about tape. I know you want to interview the guys, get their attitudes and stuff like that and see how they are. I don't know, man. It just... I get it for the players and the coaches and evaluators and stuff like that. You could have that, I feel it, but nowadays having it on TV is kind of boring. They need to do something to spice it up. There's a million commercials on NFL Network during the Combine. This year, not even a lot of people are participating, which I think is going to set a trend. It's going to be fucking crazy going forward. I'm cussing a lot. I'm sorry again. Let me stop. It's going to be crazy going forward. So, no weird ass precedent. Ass is a bad word too, but it's not as bad as that word, kids. So I just still Caleb Williams just setting a bad precedent. I'm sorry. I know people, if you're good, you're talented, you do what you want to do type of thing, but it's just too much, man. I get it. Stand on your stuff, be different. Say you only want to go to a couple of teams, you're only assigned with a couple of teams, you'll probably do the Drew Brees thing, or I mean not the Drew Brees, the Eli Manning thing. I get it. You said that, people have forgot about it, just let it go out there and perform. You played well at the beginning of the season. You kind of fell off towards the end of the season. Everybody kind of forgot about you, and you're lucky to still be looked at as a number one prospect. I mean, he did enough last year, I guess, for people to see what's going on with him. This year, he did enough, I guess. He kind of sat towards the end of the season and kind of just went away because his team was so bad. I would think he would throw at this game to remind everybody why he's the number one prospect. I would think he would go out there and try to run to see what kind of athleticism the guy has. I would think he would do the medicals to see if he would, have anything that coaches may want to cross off. But he says, no, I'm not going to do the medicals for every team because not every team can draft me. So I'm only going to do medicals for certain teams. I'm not going to throw the ball because people seen my tape and you can evaluate my tape. And if you want to pick me off that's what you should do. Like, I get it. Be different. Not that way though. It just puts off arrogance. And I know people are gonna take the approach of, oh, if a white guy was saying that, then nobody would be judging him like they're judging him because he's black. Nah, I don't think we can take that case because he's had chances all year to change his perception. I think it just kind of got worse and worse. I don't know if it's the USC flashy. I don't know if it's because he made over 10 million in NIL over the last 2 years, so he feels like he's already that guy and doesn't need the NFL to pay him whatever money for him to feel like he is worth it or something like that. He thinks he's Patrick Mahomes already, and I feel him because I'm happy we're not looking for I feel like the Buccaneers will take him in an instant, but I'm happy we're not picking early in the draft this year because you have to make big decisions about this guy right now. I mean, Drake May, I feel like is good, but it's like he wasn't as publicized as Caleb. He wasn't as publicized as Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. So, I mean, everybody knew about him coming in, especially after last season. He did great. This season, he was like the guy, watch out for this guy because he's going to be the guy behind Caleb, but all it takes is a couple of interviews and for people not to like you a little bit, and you're going to get passed up on for that number one pick money. And I know you want that. Maybe you talked to the Bears already and you think he's going to get picked, or he thinks he's going to get picked number one no matter what. But watch out. There's a lot of guys that can get picked, and there's a lot of stuff that people can do if they don't need a quarterback. Marvin Harrison is one as well. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has the cachet to skip out on drills. Wide receivers, like, of his caliber that were doing the things that he was doing in the season, I feel like you know what you're getting when you draft him. He doesn't have to perform. Interviews, I'm sure. I don't know if he did interviews or not. But I'm sure he did, and I'm sure his dad taught him and is teaching him what to say in these interviews. And it's Marvin Harrison Jr., so you know what you're getting when you get him. A guy that's coached up by his dad. You saw what he was doing at Ohio State. Supreme athleticism, 6'4", probably can burn anyways. You don't need to see him run the 40. You already know what he has. Best receiver by far, if you ask me. So, and he probably, those guys kind of already probably know where they're going, yo. Like, honestly, Caleb probably already knows he's going to the Bears. Justin Fields probably gonna get moved for some picks, and they're gonna be able to pick up another pick, pick up another player for that pick and help Caleb Williams out that much more. If they need a tackle, if they need a receiver, they're still gonna be able to get that. I think number 2 is probably gonna be Drake May or Jaden Daniels. So it's gonna be a crazy little shuffle up top. And I feel like a lot of these players are hurting themselves from not performing. They have to separate themselves, especially Jaden Daniels. Me personally, I know Jaden Daniels from ASU when he played in the Pac-12 before he actually moved over to LSU. I saw him play. I was like, okay, he has a little lively arm and he can run a little bit, but he wasn't all that. But then when he made the trip over to LSU his first year, they didn't really do really well. They were pretty bad actually with Brian Kelly and stuff like that. But then the second year, they weren't really good, but it just that he put up good ass numbers in garbage time and was able to rush for a whole bunch of yards and just beat up on somebody on some of these bad teams and were able to put up crazy ass numbers to win on the Heisman. But I think not to hate on Jaden Daniels, of course, because of the ASU thing, but I just don't think he's going to be that great in the NFL. He's really skinny, really skinny enough where he didn't want to put up no measurables in the combine. Didn't want to get on the scale, didn't want to measure his hands, didn't want to do none of that. Because people know, I mean, they're going to judge him off his size, and they're going to, he may fall in the draft based on some of his measurables. And it's just wild. Daniels and Caleb are both not participating in any throwing drills. Bo's gonna throw, of course, because Bo feels like he has an edge, most experience, and he's played in the Senior Bowl. Penix didn't perform in the Senior Bowl, so he's gonna go out there and throw as well. JJ McCarthy will throw. Who else is gonna throw out there? JJ McCarthy's throwing. Who are the other quarterbacks that are being looked at? Bo Nix, Penix. Yeah, pretty much everybody else except for Caleb. Drake May's not throwing either, and then Jaden Daniels. So I don't know. I don't know what Jaden Daniel knows. Maybe he thinks he's going to the Patriots or some shit. Maybe Jared Mayo talked to him a little bit behind the scenes, and he knows he's going there. I don't know, man. These guys are tripping. For these other guys that are not as high as top tier, some of these athletic evaluations can help them get drafted higher. Sometimes they don't have the best tape. They have a 3rd round grade and then they jump up based on their 40 times or based on their broad jumps and how strong they are, their drills. Fisk from FSU, some 3rd round grade D lineman, was out there running a 4.6 40, broad jumping farther than some DBs. In you got a vertical higher than some DBs as well. So there's some athletes out there that with these performances can really rise your draft stock. But I don't know. I hope it's not this NIL and these people getting this money before they get into the NFL is going to stop these players that we want to see perform in the combine just to see if it's real. They do perform at their pro days, but the pro days is a lot more geared towards the players. They have their receivers. They have a game script that they put together. They're way more comfortable. Sometimes you want to see them in the combine and see when they're out, they're not as comfortable because they're not going to be super comfortable in the NFL. You're going to be in pressure situations. You're going to have to perform in front of way more, I don't know if it's way more people than they did in college because some of these people went to big schools, but it just kind of gives off a bad impression to the coaches. Unless, you're already going to get drafted by a team and you spoke to them behind the scenes, and then you don't really want to show nothing else to another team anyways, and you already know you got a little bond between that coaching. I get that, but man, it gives off a bad impression, and kids are looking at you guys coming up, and then that Caleb interview looked bad. I don't know. You want to show up and get the pictures taken of you, and you be on camera and stuff like that, but you don't want to perform. I don't know. It should be mandatory. If you want to go to the NFL, you have to go to the combine to prove that you're ready for the NFL, pass physicals and stuff. You shouldn't be able to wait until your pro day like months later to perform. Like, why are you even there then? Why are you even there to make niggas that are performing nervous and try to psych them out? Like, I don't know. It's weird. Just to get pictures taken of you, just to be on TV for the combine. Why be there if you're not going to perform? Why even show up for interviews like that if you're not going to perform? If you're gonna show up for interviews, you should have to participate in all of it. But I'm off it. I'm off of it. Thursday it was linebackers, D linemen. Friday was DBs and linebackers, and then Saturday it is running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks. And then Saturday they're closing out with the O linemen. Women's basketball right now, man. I gotta talk about this. Last year, in the year before, I kind of, Sabrina Onescu, you know how I rock with Oregon and stuff like that. So as she was progressing in the WNBA, I went ahead and started following a little bit closer, especially when they when Prize Picks started offering WNBA props. I was on there a lot more, and my interest kind of grew and grew and grew for the WNBA, as well as the Bay Area, San Francisco getting a WNBA team in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Out here in the Bay, an expansion team. I'm so excited to see how that goes. So I'm going to have a chance to go to a lot more WNBA games. And I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to get out there and learn more about the WNBA game, women's college basketball, because I really don't watch it as much as I did for the men's college basketball and NBA. You know what I mean? So now I'm paying a lot closer attention to women's college basketball because, of course, the WNBA draft comes. And then based on that, what players go to each teams. And I'm trying to see what the Liberty can get to maybe actually try to beat the Aces, because the Aces is back-to-back champions. Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, all them, they looking tough out there. So it's going to take some players to come in and change the fold to have anybody else have a chance against them. So I'm trying to see where Juju Watkins goes. I'm trying to see where Caitlin Clark goes. I'm trying to see where Angel Reese goes. I know it's probably a little bit more beneficial for them to stay in school as long as they can. I think Caitlin Clark may be a senior now, though. So she may be a junior, though, because she declared for the WNBA draft this year. So if she was a senior, she would have to. But so I think her declaring this year as a junior says a little something about the WNBA to come. Caitlin Clark averaging 32 points and almost a triple-double for the last, 6-7 games. Juju Watkins averaging 28, had a 51 ball, 40-point game, 38-point game. So smooth with it. You know what I mean? So smooth, jumper smooth, off the hezzy, off the dribble to the rack, real smooth. And then, of course, we got Angel Reese holding it down since her national championship year. I think that was last year. All with her versus Caitlin Clark was one of the highest watched sports games of the year. So I'm excited to see what this tournament has to hold for us with so many stars this year in women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark versus Juju versus Angel. I'm really excited. I know everybody loves Caitlin Clark, and what's not to love about her? That Steph Curry-like stroke. She's so nasty off the catch and shoots from the logo. Seeing her and Sabrina maybe in the 3-point contest against Steph and Clay would be kind of dope. Yeah, but they probably mix it up a little bit though. But yeah, Caitlin Clark's doing her thing and she's putting on and is a show. You need to watch every game to see the stuff that she's doing. Of course, again, she's averaging 32, almost a triple-double. She played Minnesota the other day and had like 21 in the first half. And they're beating them by like 30. Almost 40 points, so she probably sat towards the end and get as much minutes, had like 30 something. But it's just crazy to see and see Juju's highlights. She putting USC basketball for the women's on the map. I know the men's basketball is usually the all the hype at USC, but women's basketball right now is with Juju at the helm is just going crazy. She may play another year in college before she actually moves to the NBA, but when she does go to the NBA, it's going to be wild. And I would just have to say Angel Reese is probably going to go to the NBA this year, or WNBA next year. 19-12, 19 and almost 13 rebounds. 19 and 13 is nuts. So seeing where they're going to go next year is going to be interesting. They're saying Caitlin is probably going to go overall number 1 to Indiana. I think they're the Fever. Juju, man, she if she comes out, she can go easily number 2. But I don't know who has the number 2 pick. I have to look up on that. But they're probably, if they would all come out this year, they would go 1, 2, 3. Caitlin 1, Angel probably 2, and Juju. I don't know. I don't know if I pick Juju over Angel, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Juju will probably stay another year. She's balling this year's her freshman year. She gonna get it in her second year too. So who knows? Because I know Juju right now. I don't know if she makes a whole bunch of money in NIL, but if she's dating Bronny, she definitely is. But I saw them come into USC together, taking pictures and stuff. So I don't know if they're dating. Maybe they're just friends. But Either way, I know Juju's going to be a lot of NIL money coming her way. So whether she chooses to stay in, in college or go to the WNBA, she's going to be successful either way. And I cannot wait for it to happen because she's nasty, boy. But yeah, I just had to throw that in there because it's at an all-time high right now. March Madness has not started yet. But once it does, these women are going to be on a showcase, and they're probably going to be Final Four type shit with South Carolina. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens there. But there's a poll that was going up recently. I'm shuffling around. I'm sorry. Moving on to the next sports topic. We're almost out of sports, I promise. Got a couple of pop culture, then I'll get you out of here. But sports, man. Sports are hard. If you're not an athlete, of course you probably think sports are hard. If you are an athlete, natural athlete, I know there's those sports that you can't do. Are hella hard. Just hard to grasp, hard to get the concept going. I know those natural athletes like, oh yeah, I can grasp any sport I do, I'll be hella good at. But hardest sports. When you think of hardest sports, top 10, what do you think of, man? What do you guys think of? I have my top 5. I found a list on ESPN that was put out recently to show the top 10 highest the rated hardest sports to play by a whole bunch of people on ESPN. It was a survey that was taken. I have top 7. I don't know why I stopped at 7, but the list goes as follows. Number 1, they had boxing. 2 was hockey. 3 was football. 4 was basketball. 5 was wrestling. 6 was martial arts. And 7 they had tennis. I like that list. Boxing for sure, number 1, unless you're talking to martial arts when you talk about like MMA. But I guess boxing, is a little more difficult than MMA would be just because you only can use your hands. You don't have as many ways you can beat an opponent. I mean, you probably get hit harder in MMA, but I think boxing technically would be harder. Hockey, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. That'd be a close second because not only do you have to be able to skate, you have to have hand-eye coordination to hit that puck into the goal, and you have to watch out for people trying to fuck you up the whole time as far as checking you, hitting you with a stick, and trying to fight you. That's too much to think about for your boy. I am good. I agree with that one. But when you get to 3 and it's football, I can't agree with that, man. I get it for those who don't really play football, but this is my bias. I grew up playing 7 years old, hitting, catching, throwing, all that. Pause. But but I feel like it's not hard necessarily for me. So that's where our list kind of differs. But let me show you my list right here. My list personally, I have golf number 1. I just don't get it. It's like the harder you try, the worse you do. You just kind of have to, it's a flow game, all about body movement and the angles of your body and how you swing and the stroke. And it's a lot. It's like if you're a super athlete, you go out there to try to golf right away, it doesn't mean shit. You have to learn, you have to get it. It's really conceptual. I feel like that's really hard to grasp. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of intimidating as well. Though people do it just for leisure and just to hang out and just go have fun. But me personally, man, it's tough for me to do sports and tough for me to get confident about sports that I really am not good at. And this is why I will put this one at number 1. It's like, it's just really hard. It's hard as a sport. And I feel like shit, bro. This is really hard to be good at it. Second, boxing, of course. First of all, it's just too much to think about as well. Second behind golf, you have to worry about strikes. You got to put power behind that shit. You have to know what you got to anticipate. You have to play defense. Worry about getting your ass knocked out. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I would never want to do it. And then commend everybody that be out there boxing and shit. I mean, I know you have padded gloves and it's not a street fight, but boy, the ones that be doing it, those hands is crazy. That footwork is crazy, man. I do want to get out there and hit the bag a little bit and learn how to box. Maybe I could be good at it, but that shit is not easy. You ain't got a whole bunch of undefeated champions out there. If it was that easy, everybody would be undefeated, but somebody got to lose. So with that alone, that's just tough. Next, I got hockey. It's kind of similar to their list. They had hockey number 2, but again, skating, sharp ass shit on your skates that can hurt somebody that's not covered up. Big ass pads trying to skate around and try to score goals while basically fighting on ice. No. So that's a hard number 3. Number 4, I put gymnastics. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Trust me. And if you make a mistake on that gymnastic floor, you could die. And the odds of you breaking something really high. What's the odds of breaking something? What is higher, gymnastics or football? Because I feel like in gymnastics, there's only one way to go. I mean, I know the floors be padded and stuff, but how padded can the floor be for you not to break your neck if you land on your head doing 6,000 front flips in a row? That's just nuts. That shit is nuts. So that's my number 4. And number 5, I'm putting baseball. I mean, it may be easy to catch a baseball in the outfield. I ain't playing no infield, brother. You ain't hitting no motherfucking live drive at my face. You know what I'm saying? Batting, 100 miles per hour, 80, 90 miles per hour fastballs, curveballs, sinker sliders. Can't do it. I can watch it. I'll watch it. I'll play outfield and try to catch a fly ball or some shit, a little grounder to the outfield. You feel me? I'll be third base coach or some shit. But baseball, you got me at number 5. So my top 5 list, golf is the hardest for me. Boxing, hockey, gymnastics at 4, baseball number 5. Football be way down on the list for me, man. I feel and basketball is tough too in a way. I'll put basketball probably right above football because people think, oh yeah, you can't just dribble, shoot. No, it's not about that. Just think about the drills that you do at basketball practices. You know what I mean? It's a lot of them are tough. If you don't have a automatic left hand, if you're not ambidextrous with the basketball, some drills can be tough for you. Some type of passes can be tough for you. It's not all about, oh, catch the ball, shoot the ball, play defense, catch the ball, shoot the ball. No, you got to learn about screens. You got to learn about getting around screens, help defense. You know what I'm saying? There's another thing that's really conceptual. I mean, anybody can go to the rec and play pickup basketball. I get it. But are you good at it? You dropping 40? You dropping 20? You know what I'm saying? Are you a good teammate? Anybody can go be good at basketball, okay at basketball. But being great is actually pretty hard. Being great is pretty hard. So that's where I put basketball up there. Football, I mean, like, if you know me, not to brag again, but just I don't understand any ways that football could be hard. Like, I get it. Maybe catching the ball, a lot of people can't catch. A lot of people can't catch. A lot of people can't tackle. A lot of people aren't the fastest. I know a lot of people play football aren't geniuses, so I don't think intelligence is the end all be all in football. So I don't really see football being hard. Maybe people are scared of being tackled, and it's the violentness of it makes it that hard. For me, maybe with the battle wounds that I've had and the hits and stuff that I've taken already, I don't know. Doesn't really make me afraid. Maybe my size as well. Shoot, I'm already kind of bigger than some football players. I'm bigger than some running backs that are out there. 5'8", 225. I'm bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm as big as some of these O linemen and D linemen that be like 6'7", 300 pounds. I'm not that, but I don't know, bro. Some of these hybrid linebackers, give me the rock one time. I think I could run through the middle and give me about 5-10 yards. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, for the ESPN, tell me what you guys think are your top 5 hardest sports to play. Hardest sports that you think are hard just because they're hard. I don't know. You ain't got to put a qualifier behind it, but just top 5 hardest sports. What do you think? Hit me in the bottom. Type me in the little chat box out there on YouTube. Maybe this could be a clip. I don't know. AKA is gonna be choosing that. But hey, what sports do you think is the hardest to play? My top 5: golf, boxing, hockey, gymnastics, baseball. What's yours? What we got? Oh yeah, this weekend, or next weekend, I should say. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia. Boxing match. Ngannou's making his rounds. He just fought. What's my guy's name? Fury. What Tyson Fury? He just fought him, knocked him down one time. I think he got power, but ultimately, I think Ngannou lost the fight. I think Tyson Fury is a lot more of a skilled boxer. He knows how to score points and he knows how to box. Even though Ngannou has that one-hit power and he's learning probably a lot about boxing as he bounces back and forth between UFC and boxing. I think it's going to be beneficial to his UFC fighting as well, unless he has to fight John Jones. I don't think he's going to succeed in that. But Anthony Joshua is a boxer, so I think Anthony Joshua will be able to handle Ngannou. I think he's okay with power punchers because I think Anthony Joshua, if I'm not mistaken, he did fight Wilder, right? If I'm not mistaken, and Joshua beat Wilder. So if he can defeat that kind of power punches, he can get past those and and just outbox Ngannou, I think he'll be fine. I'm sure he fought way more skilled boxers than Ngannou, which is the reason why he accepted the fight. If Joshua thought he was going to lose, he probably wouldn't accept the fight. Um, and I'm hoping we see a real fight. I'm hoping we didn't, because you already saw the goddamn commercial they did together. They're already kind of friendly with each other. So hopefully this fight ain't for show. They go out there and just punch around a little bit. Just not try to knock each other out. Just give everybody a show, because I know Saudi Arabia is probably paying hella money for them to fight out there. And it's for sure just a money grab, because I know Ngannou is training again to fight in the UFC. So probably a quick little workout. But Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua this March 8th. So it's Friday. So it's Friday, yeah. In Saudi Arabia. Check it out. Check it out. Let me know who you think is gonna win. Pop culture, speaking of fights, man. Cam Newton got in that altercation at his 7-on-7, dog. Y'all saw that? Very, very interesting to me. Why are we attacking football players at 7-on-7 camps for kids? That's what I need to know, Mr. Man. TPS training, sports training, whatever you guys are. I don't know. You don't really deserve to get credit right now anyways, because what you're doing is setting a bad example. This shouldn't be in the news at all. It just sucks to have us as a people. I don't want to have to go racial on it, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because Cam is doing good shit for the kids out there, man. 7-on-7 camps are making DBs, making receivers, making running backs, making quarterbacks better out there before they get to college. Maybe going to college, or I think it's high school kids going to college. So to make them better prospects, to put something on their resume, to get looked at by colleges. Just little tournaments out there to get kids ready for their seasons, you know what I mean? And for it to explode into a fight between grown-ass men at a kid's event is wild. To put the kids in that situation Firstly, I guess I should talk about what happened. There's a video going around. Cam Newton was talking and arguing with somebody, and this other guy tries to come up and sneak punch him, and he proceeds to get I wouldn't say proceed, because they attempted to jump him, but they didn't really succeed, because I don't know if you guys know who Cam Newton is or know how big he is. I am really privy to who he is, watching the Panthers for so long, being a Buccaneers fan, seeing him run through linebackers, run through defensive linemen for hundreds of yards a game. So why are we trying to jump him, let alone fight him at a camp where, if your kids are there, I don't know if they had kids that were participating in the 7-on-7, why would you spoil that opportunity for them by doing some shit that's so, I wouldn't say out of character, because who knows who these guys are? It's just out of pocket. You have police there, you have parents there, again, you have kids there you're trying to set a good example for, who are, I guess, your coaches for, trying to help them get to the next level, help them, be better football players at the 7-on-7 camp. Arguing with other coaches and fighting is not a good example. Just because you're losing the 7-on-7, people say Cam Newton was talking shit to these people, which caused them to react the way that they reacted. But if Cam Newton didn't put no hands on you, you shouldn't go up there trying to attack that man. Especially when there's police there. You could have been shot by these police officers. What if these people had weapons trying to stab him or harm Cam Newton in a different kind of way? What if it went left way like that? Like, it's a bad look. People are making fun of it now just because Cam Newton handled himself and was able to fend off both people that were trying to jump him by holding one in one hand, holding his backpack like he was holding a hockey jersey over his head, and had the other dude with his other hand getting almost punched by other camp goers. And that's the thing about it. Kids were getting involved, trying to punch the assailants. It's too much. And I commend Cam for not throwing a punch as well, because he knows all of the press and all the media is going to be about him. So if he would have hit somebody, knocked somebody out, all the negative press would have came his way and just ruined all his 7-on-7 camps and all the progress that he has going. But now he did I wouldn't say he did the right thing, because fighting is never the answer, buddy. In this instance, I feel like he protected himself. But yeah, these guys, and they go on interviews and on podcasts to try to talk about what's going on, try to blame Cam Newton and try to apologize to everybody who saw the video, because he's not setting an example, only because it is probably hurting their bottom line in their training business now. Nobody wants to come train with them because they out there trying to jump professional athletes, and that's just terrible for your kid to go to be trained by somebody that's doing that. Everything's in the cloud era now. So everybody wants to go out there and just be the first to talk about the incident and just try to add clout to their name. But it all looked bad, man. I think Cam Newton did the best he can to void off the offenders, and the cops didn't. The cops came in and interjected without hurting anybody, just separating the dudes, and I feel like it was a good look, man. Just because this never happens at the white camps, or it's never publicized at the white camps, and for them to record it and get it out so fast and have it spread everywhere in the media, trying to find a way to make fun of Cam, defame Cam. But they've been trying to do it ever since he said Brock Purdy was a game managing quarterback. They're trying to throw dirt on his name. But yeah, Cam's out here just trying to do podcasts. He's not in the league no more. He's trying to do 7-on-7 for the kids. Leave the man alone, bro. His hat didn't even move, man. You ain't knocking out a 6'6", man, 250 solid dude like that. You ain't jumping him. What was you thinking? And I'm sure they're gonna get banned from 7-on-7s. They're never gonna be able to go to that Cam Newton camp. Now their kids are gonna suffer because they wanted to be superstars. You know what I mean? And whenever Cam decides to talk about it, he gonna flame them up and spin it however he wants to spin it, even though he probably was talking shit to you guys. Now you look stupid for trying to fight him, and everybody thinks you guys are dumb, got your asses whooped trying to jump somebody, and now you're just looking dumb trying to apologize to everybody when you're not gonna be fucked with ever again. Shouts out to Cam. Glad to see that he's safe. And nobody really got hurt from the situation. And let's set a good example for the kids. We don't want this shit happening. I'm seeing these videos on Instagram and 7-on-7 where they slapping each other in the face off the line and shit like that. Cornerbacks and receivers. It's the weirdest shit, man. That 7-on-7 culture is getting kind of crazy to me, but hopefully everything stays sane and we can keep on doing it. Hope these high school football players get to the next level and get out of these circumstances they don't want to be in. Because he's helping our community, man. Help them get out and get more recognized and get them stars up, because stars are everything in high school football nowadays. So, anyways, let's see. Best of Bias officially removes physical media from the stores. R.I.P. Best of Bias. R.I.P. Best Buy. Not the store in general, but R.I.P. to the physical media, man. How many of y'all remember going to Target, going to Best Buy, going to wherever you got your favorite CDs from, and going scanning the CD aisle from that drop that just happened from your favorite artist? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember going and grabbing a couple of DVDs from the book aisle where where all the cool little DVDs and movies were for the new releases? Y'all remember that before streaming? Boy. I would never forget my first album I got off the, not Best Buy rack, but the Target rack. Target was the place for me, and I'm sure that Target's gonna follow suit soon, removing everything from their shelves and have everything digitally streamed now. I never thought they'd go away from it. Like, what are you actually supposed to do now if you can't buy CDs? Like cars, some cars don't have aux. Some people don't have smartphones. So what do they expect you to do now? It's kind of crazy. You have to order from Amazon, order special order, or Collector is going to start selling CDs as like, since the shoe resale market is down, maybe people go out there flip CDs nowadays. Country Grammar, Nelly, flip that shit. You know what I'm saying? When it first released, I had 4 Lil Wayne CDs when it first dropped, bro. I went there 4 times just to support. Man, when physical album sales really matter for the artist, that's crazy to me too. So it's like we're throwing that whole medium away for artists and stuff to make money. Like, what they're gonna make it solely off streams now? That's nuts. Can you buy the CDs from online from Best Buy? Is gonna be my next question. Like, do people still have CD players in their car? My car. I don't think my car has this. My car does have a CD player, actually. My car does have a CD player. I have a 2016. I'm sorry, guys. I ain't rich like y'all, but my car does have a CD player, so I'm still kind of sad about this, man. I didn't think that I'd see the day that they took those off the shelves. Like, I think that's eventually gonna happen with all stores, no? Because I mean, why CDs? I think this is kind of a push to force artists to make money off of streams. That's kind of crazy. Like, they ain't taking books off the shelves. They ain't taking toys off the shelves. Like, why they choose that? I guess people aren't going there to buy them anymore. I guess it's just a waste of space. But then the electronic section, what are you gonna put there? It's like everything you might as well buy online. Like games, like you don't need to buy games in stores no more. You can digitally download them. You know what I mean? Like, TVs, like people still going to stores to buy TVs. Why not buy it online and have that shit delivered right to you? Man, it's getting scary out here, man. I'm starting to see like AI is gonna start controlling restaurants now, and AI is gonna control the pricing based on demand. Shit's getting wild, man. The stuff that we thought would never actually happen is gonna happen real soon. It's happened faster than we thought, bro. Like Best Buy not selling physical, like I don't know, physical media. Like what? What? What do they sell? They sell electronics in a certain section of the store, like the wash machines and shit like that. But a big ass section of Best Buy stores are the DVDs, are the CDs. Like they're gonna start just putting phone service areas in this whole like it's a big ass store. I know they have a big ass store, so they have an Apple section, a Samsung section, a fucking AT&T section. Like what? I don't understand. And they have all the security in the world there. Like I don't know. It's interesting to me. What do you guys think? I'm just gonna miss going in there grabbing CDs. I know I haven't grabbed a CD in a long time, but I remember when I couldn't even listen to the curse words. I had to get edited versions. You remember two versions of the CDs there? The explicit version and the clean version? Bruh. My first explicit album that I bought and I had to hide from my family was Memphis Bleak. I forgot exactly what album it was, but I know I got it somehow, and then I wasn't allowed to listen to the explicit lyrics. So every time my family came in the room and I was listening to it, I had to hide the CD. I remember that till this day. Memphis Bleak, and my cousin was able to listen to all the explicit music. Johnny Boy 650 was able to listen to all the explicit music, but I wasn't. So he had all the slappers, and I had to have the edited versions until I got about 13, 14. 13, 14. That's crazy. I don't know exactly what year it was. 13, 14 is a little nuts, but I got there. You know where I'm at now with the music if you know me, but I remember it to this day. But RIP Best Buy physical media, RIP CDs in stores. I know it's gonna eventually go. Man, these stores I'm telling you, are eventually gonna go to fully online store, no brick and mortar anymore. Uh it was kind of a hint when they started being able to buy shit at the stores and they can just bring it out to your car. I just thought about that. That's like the easiest way to order something now. Why not? If you know it's in the store, you know you want it, you want to buy it before it sells out. Just buy it and go pick it up from the store instead of having to go in the store and wait in line and shit like that. You know the store's gonna be busy. Just I'm here. Just can I have that, please? Thank you. That's just kind of clean, and I think that's gonna kind of take over. Just think about VR shopping. You'd be able to try shit on in VR and just be able to order online, not even have to step in the stores at all. Shit's gonna change, man. The mall, it's gonna be over for that. People are robbing the malls here, left and right anyway. So why would you even have these kind of shits? We should probably just all move to online shopping. And, I think people try to not online shop because of the whole, maybe the delivery aspect. And you don't live in a place where you can get shit dropped off easily, or just the tax that you have on the online shopping that they put in for not even just shipping, but just the convenience fee for buying it online is sometimes a higher tax. So kind of forces you to go out if you want to get something to go to a store if it's local, but I'm rambling now. Anyways, let's move on. 4-day work week. I talked about this before, and I think it really needs to be implemented. I don't know why we haven't done it here in the US, but it has been done and trialed, and it's been proven to work in the UK. So I'm hoping that we can move towards it. I mean, Biden, if you really want to keep that presidency, if you really want people to vote you in for another term, this is what you do right here. In the UK, there was a trial in 2022, 51, or let's see, it was 62 companies that participated. They tried a 4-day work week and no change of pay. And they did it for, I believe, 6 months. And 54 companies actually kept it and made that a permanent thing to have a 4-day work week instead of a 5-day work week. The other 6 companies or 7 companies were like, fuck that. We want people to work here 5 days a week. And we want everybody working. But through that 6-month trial, they did see a work-life balance increase, a life satisfaction increase within the employees that work for them, burnout reduction, and then I just feel like those are the most important things if you want the productivity of your company to be at an all-time high. You need to have great work-life balance for the employees. You need to have great life satisfaction for these people that could coming in, glad to be coming in, be getting paid enough, be able to satisfy and support their family enough where they coming in happy and being ready to work and not just have to drag through their days. And then burnout reduction. They're not working as much so they don't get burnt down as much. Though people may complain about 4-day work weeks, I still kind of feel like, after just let us try it for a little bit, maybe a couple of years. And if you want to change it back, you can change it back if the productivity and companies are losing too much money, if the economy is going down. But if we see a boost in our economy, I feel like we should give it a try, especially in the US, man. UK, 54 out of 61 companies keeping it. That should say something. I know in Japan, they have they have it mandatory for their employees to go like have a drink with their employees, like I don't know if it's an hour a day or it's like at a certain point in the week where they go and just let it go, let it go, just relax and revamp and just have some fun, have that work-life balance and that burnout just reduce, man. I personally work for a company where we work every day and it's 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and it gets taxing towards the end of the week. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and sometimes that can, not my production personally, but it can result in a little bit of burnout and the enthusiasm about doing what you're doing to go down a lot. And people perform at a high level with working 5 days. I don't think having one less work day is going to hurt people's productivity. Personally, I feel like people being appreciative of having that extra day off will make them work harder. They'll be refreshed and not as cranky trying to come back every day and have to do what they have to do, especially if they don't like their job. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is just dreading coming into work every day and it hates everything about their job, if they had one more day off, I feel like that would turn around completely. And it'll be a start. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I feel like getting money in return for a job is good. Everybody wants to get paid for their job. You need money to survive, to sustain. But I feel like liking where you work, not being frustrated and burnt out where you work, and being happy to come into work are positive things. You know what I mean? There are positive things that can benefit your business in the long run. I don't necessarily feel like you have to, I don't know. I feel like it's more of a control thing to keep everybody in office Monday through Friday with no sense of, oh, this is bad for our employees. I think employees need to be more taken into account. I mean, I feel like businesses feel like employees are replaceable. They're coming dime a dozen. Everybody wants a job, but I don't know. I just feel like making a 4-day work week would just show everybody that they're appreciated, and that would just reciprocate appreciation from the employees to the business. Personally, maybe that's why I'm not a manager. But I don't know. I feel like these businesses are making so much money, and the production out of these people, like jobs like Amazon, Tesla, and stuff like that, are just making so much money off these people's production. To give back and give them a 4-day work week would be incredible. I know some people in medical fields and stuff like that wouldn't be able to do it just because we have to be able to give service to people that need it 5 days a week. But and then schools as well, you would want your kid in school 5 days a week, so you would want teachers there. But maybe you can pay them more for sticking to the 5-day work week. In the 4-day work week, people can pay the same as you would on a 5-day work week. It's just that, you know, it could be worked out. I mean, you worked out everything else, man. You have some crazy ass shit you're voting for in the government to do, but I feel like this one will be the most beneficial. But I feel like a lot of people are greedy. They want people working every day to get the optimal, you know, dollar out of every person. So to give them until you have to, I don't think any company is going to willingly just implement a 4-day work week. I don't know. Working from home is one thing. I think that's a great step for businesses to adopt and accept, but 4-day work weeks, I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but if we take anything from anywhere, just take that research from the UK and just try to implement it slowly. But bro, see how fast this VR is going? See how fast? Just try. Just try. I'm sure you guys can do it, get it done. Just show that you love us a little bit. Everything is going up in price. Inflation is crazy. The student loans is cool, but half the people right now aren't even going to college. So let's just get something that benefits the whole country. 4-day work weeks, y'all. Let's think about it. And hire more people too. Cinema Corner, let's get through this real quick. BMF season 3 just started on Friday. Incredible first episode. Big Meech and T are both back. We're seeing what's happening as a continuation of season 2. I think they Meech went to Atlanta to stay after some shit went down. T and Lala's character, they get shot at by DC Young Fly's character at the end of season 2 as well. So we get to see what happens at the end of that. I like the show a lot, man. Another 50 Cent production. He's doing a great job. Sometimes it can get kind of corny. Acting is not always the best, but he does a good job of putting like relevant artists and people in it that we are interested in and that we can get behind, though the story may not be 100% accurate. It's just like, oh, it's great storytelling because we actually already know the end result of what happens. We all know they go to jail. But a 22-year run is something to be heralded. So we're seeing everything that kind of led up to them going to jail. So we don't know what year or what season they're going to go to jail. So it could be 5 seasons before they actually get there. But I'm liking what we see. I like the whole Monique aspect of it, how he met his best friend in the last season, Monique's character. But seeing 2 Chainz, seeing Neo as the manager or the connect at Magic City was cool. But Meech and BMF show kind of gives me Tommy and Power vibes. Like Big Meech, I know was the man back in his day, but the way he's going around in this show is just like he's a fucking superhero. He go out there wherever he sees something he want to take, he go find the biggest, baddest dude in the club in the city, go knock his ass out, or go step to him. And then after they fight or after they argue, he comes back with a business deal and they always become friends. Like, goddamn, you ain't never beefing with nobody for real. You beef for like 30 seconds and then you best friends. And then whenever he is beefing with somebody in the show, he did get shot once in the show, but every time he beef with somebody in the show, he comes out on top. He be winning the fights. And if they got guns, they be shooting at hella people and never get shot. He's a real life superhero. But then at the end of the day, everything he's doing, he's trying to take care of his family, so they make him look like a good guy as well. And his reputation in the streets too is a stand-up dude. So it's an interesting life, interesting juxtaposition. I really did like the show first 2 seasons, so I'm excited to see what we get into in this season. Again, we already know they end up in jail, but how they depict how they get to those stages is really cool, man. I'm not gonna give away too much because it did just come out on Friday, so I want y'all to watch it first before I really go into what happens. But season 3 is out. They're in Atlanta now. Meech is setting up in Atlanta. So we get some great Meech lines in there, and T is tripping. He's fucking with this girl while his other girl is pregnant, bringing her into the house. Spoiler alert, man. It's just getting wild, man. T is just... And that eye, bro, whatever they did with that prosthetic eye for dude, I never know which one, if it's looking the right way or if it's looking the wrong way, bro. I'm like, which eye is actually looking at the right place? I don't know where he's looking. I don't know. I can't judge his emotion really because I don't know what his eye is doing. It's hella funny. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. Episode 1 is out now. I have more of a review. I'm probably gonna get AKA on the pod, the next pod. I don't think he watches BMF, but I'm gonna get somebody on here to review it with y'all. But it's out right now. But again, this season and a little bit of last season, it kind of went from the BMF story to BMF. Some of it's real and some of it's 50 Cent Power recreation. So it's still cool to me, and I really like it. Lala's in every single Power show. I don't know what her and 50 Cent got going on, but she's in every single show he has on that production company. But it's good. Another show that I'm watching, Tokyo Vice season 2 is out, something on Max. It came out, let's see. It came out last year at some point. I wasn't really privy of the season 2 coming out, but it's pretty cool. It's interesting. You would have to kind of like be interested in that kind of shit in order to kind of really get deep into it. But it's basically about this white dude who is trying to become a reporter in Japan, 90s Japan. And he ends up doing investigative research on the Yakuza out there. And a bunch of shit's going on within the Yakuza. And this guy kind of gets intertwined in the business and finds out about some shit that's going on that the Yakuza, one part of the Yakuza got going. They have a company that employs people and has the employees commit suicide and then they take their benefits that they have that they weren't able to claim after they commit suicide. Um, but they kind of force the person into committing suicide, and the Yakuza, takes the money off the person's insurance policy after they kill themselves, or some crazy shit like that. And this reporter kind of finds his way investigating this, but the Yakuza are, of course, when you're investigating some criminal shit, they're trying to stop you from investigating that. And at the same time, you got the Yakuza factions going against each other internally. So he's getting a bunch of information from one of the rival Yakuza members about these people that are doing this little company fraud thing. So he's playing in dangerous waters. So we get to see some gang shit behind the scenes, and we also see this white dude in Japan trying to become a reporter, getting his ass into trouble, getting his foot his nose in business he shouldn't be in. And then you also have this American white woman who is kind of, I want to say, the host of a brothel. And she's kind of going through it as well because the Yakuza guys are kind of trying to solicit her place and take money from her place for protection, but she doesn't really want to fuck with it. She just wants to be a business owner and just own her brothel in peace. But the Yakuza also are getting involved in that and trying to take her money. And the person they put in charge of taking the money from her is her boyfriend that she liked from the Yakuza before she became the owner. It's very convoluted, but season 2 is out right now. Go check it out. It's on Max. Yeah. I know y'all love my reviews. Also, Halo season 2 right now is out. Season 5 or episode 5 is out right now. This season's a little slow for me. If you watched Halo season 1, I kind of reviewed that a little bit before. But I'm watching season 2 now because I'm still with it. I'm trying to see what's going on. It's just a little confusing though. First season, you saw him have sex with the half covenant, half human girl, and then they kind of just like went into season 2 with him just kind of like being kind of brain wiped and separated from Cortana. And then in this season, he is, I don't know exactly what's going on. His group, his Spartan group, goes on a whole bunch of missions. The Covenant, which is the aliens, are on this planet secretly that he's sitting on, and he finds out that the Covenant are there, but nobody believes him. And then the Covenant actually comes out and just destroys everything in the city, and the Spartans are dying behind, and he loses his suit, and the higher ups in the company are working with the Covenant type shit, and it's getting kind of convoluted. I'm still trying to wait for it to get kind of good, but there's a lot of battle. If you like Halo, the video games, a lot of shooting and stuff that's involved, and a lot of things that are similar to the game. So I think you would like that a lot. But again, season 2 is kind of slow. It's 5 episodes out right now, and nothing's really happened as far as moving forward the story. Again, all the characters from season 1 come back, and you get little spotlights of them sprinkled into season 2 so far. But I kind of want to see what's going on. The half covenant girl is just kind of like stealing these artifacts to try to get information about something for the Covenant. The Covenant guys don't respect her because she's half human and barely like alien or whatever. She was adopted or whatever. But at the same time, there's a love triangle between her and John, the Spartan, the main Spartan, who doesn't have his suit anymore, but is trying to wield off the Covenant from taking over the city. But they actually do take over the city in the long run and kind of basically blow it up. And then they have to escape. And then John is just, looking back at it, it's like, fuck, we lost a bunch of Spartans. We were taken over. I told y'all, but y'all didn't believe me that they were taking over the planet. And this higher up guy is working with them, and he took all of our Spartan suits. So now I can't really protect y'all. He ends up getting shot and shit. So yeah, he has to get taken off the planet and healed. So he's not even the guy that he was in season 1, really, because he doesn't really have a Spartan suit. He only had the Spartan suit in the first 2 episodes, and then him and his crew started getting fucked up by the Covenant. And, and he ends up being the only Spartan left. I feel like it's what's going to happen at the end. Because I was kind of confused why there were so many Spartans when in the game. I mean, there's a lot of Spartans around, but in the storyline, you're really just solo most of the time. But I guess this is kind of going to be the origin story, how he becomes the guy he is in the game. I can see that happening. A lot of backstory, a lot of like origin of the Spartans, a lot of origin of the Covenant. Actually, not really much of origin of the Covenant. You don't really know exactly what they're doing yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting, but a little slow. If you were into the first season, you know what I'm talking about. More reviews to come for this, probably the finale. I'm not gonna hold y'all. This one's not really that interesting. It's not the best. And then lastly, before we get up out of here, Dune 2 is in theaters now. that came out this weekend. I'm gonna go check it out after I watch Dune 1 again, just for a review. I know this movie's gonna be like 3 or 4 hours. So I'm gonna go check it out in a little bit, but go check that out. Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q just dropped. A lot of shit going on. I'm gonna try to go to DreamCon this year. That's another announcement I want to let you guys know. Shout out RDC World One, Mark Phillips. I'm gonna try to make it out there July 26th through 28th. Me and Deshaun are gonna try to get out there. So if y'all trying to get with the wave, meet us out there as well. That's hella far out, so I'll probably be announcing a lot more as it comes. Tickets go on sale March 15th, though. They're probably gonna sell out. So if you're trying to go, get those tickets. But that's pretty much all I have for y'all. Short and sweet, a little diabolical, a little rambly. But y'all go have a great weekend, man. It's the Best of Bias podcast. You know where you can find your boy at. It's SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. Anywhere you're looking for the Best of Bias podcast, go ahead and type that in. Best of Bias on the Instagram, Best of Bias on the YouTube. Of course, AKA is giving us all these great ass videos. So y'all better go check that shit out. Don't forget it. And then what else we got? Merch all day. You see this dad hat on my head? Plenty of hats, bucket hats, dad hats. What else I got? Beanies and trucker hats. You know what I'm saying? A couple of t-shirts coming soon. Ron, you just caught a couple of hats. Let me know how you like them. We're available, man. Tournament. That's the next episode. Next content is going to be the tournament. Villains tournament. Again, we have 4 villains for from each quadrant: TV shows, movies, anime, cartoons. Put them up against each other in the tournament. It's around the 16, nothing too big. Just battle them out and just see who's going to be the best villain. Not necessarily fighting against each other, but just their impact on villainry. You feel me? But this is episode 199, y'all. We made it. Almost 200. Next episode will be 200, so we got to go big for that one. So that's why we're doing the tournament. Love all y'all. Thank y'all for joining me this weekend. Sorry for the tardiness again, but I promise you one of these days we're going to get back and release it on Friday, I swear. Hey, but it's the Best of Bias podcast. Again, if you want to be on the podcast, hit me up. Snapchat. I see a lot of y'all reacting on Snapchat, Instagram. I have followers on there, man. Y'all hit me up. Stop being scared. It's the Best of Bias podcast. You know what it is. It's Lydell Dinero. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for clicking play. Comment, like, subscribe on the YouTube. Don't be afraid. Tell your friends to hit that bell so you know when we drop in every week. And we're gonna go live soon again sometimes when we get a lot of people on here. I've been going live a little bit, got the capabilities, but I haven't really been utilizing it. So we'll go live. Follow me on Twitch as well. Lydell Dinero _22 or Lydell _Dinero 22. Watch me play some Call of Duty. Watch me play some 2K with the homies as well. The homies that don't want to get on the pod, but they'll get on the game. You know what I'm saying? I got video on there too, so you'll be able to see me. But yeah, it's the Best of Bias podcast where that theme song at. I love y'all. Best of Bias family. I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. It's the best of Bias. You need the earful. You should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of Bias. Best of Bias. Yeah.